What's good, everybody? Hope all is well. This is Zachary King from The Future is Female podcast, a podcast in which we do our part to celebrate our beautiful Black women and where we talk about issues and pretty much all things that affect Black folks. With that being said, I wanted to talk about something because this topic came up on a prior episode, and it was, do Black women provide a safe space for Black men? And I think this is very important because you also have a Black son. You have a son, and clearly he's going to be Black. He's Black. So, I wanted to ask you, do you think that Black women, because we hear it the other way around, black men need to provide a safe place for Black women. And this is not a tick for tack. This is just wanted to throw that out here to see, is this a real thing or not? So let me get your thoughts.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, my name is LaVeta Cameron, and yes, I do have a Black son and a Black daughter.
Right.
I do. I am a mother. I do have two. And my son is 19. My daughter's almost 17. Mm-hmm. I think it's important for the person you're going to be with, man or woman, to provide peace for each other. I think no one wants to come home after, a long day of work and come home and a bunch of chaos. Right. You want peace. Like, your home, as to my belief, your home should be your sanctuary. You should feel happy to come home, the place where you can let go, release, the day's work if you need, not that. And also on the flip side, not to come home with your work and dump that on your person, like bring your work home with you. When you come home with an attitude, like, I was home all day, I didn't even do anything to you. You want to be, you're the other person trying to welcome them home, and they're, taking out, I had a bad day, blah, blah, blah. And, you're looking like, I think it's a two-way street. I think they should provide that for each other. I think it's a beautiful thing when it works that way. But
overall, do you think that the Black women make it safe for Black men to talk about their issues and things that affect them? Do you think that that's an overall sentiment?
I'm not sure. I feel like anything I would say is either going to be generalized or how.
But it got to be generalized.
Yeah.
It got to be. I mean, this is just a general conversation. We're talking about, I personally don't think so. I think individually Black women do, but as a collective, no. As
a collective, I think they want you to, what they say, man up. And what you crying for? What you upset about?
As a collective,
They want to see that strong front, because the women, I guess, we're considered the emotional creatures, and if we want to see a strong man, we may want him to be that strong person in our lives, so we can feel safe. We can feel safe too if we need to fall apart. But I guess when they need to fall apart,
who it might do we go to?
Right. I mean, I think it's personally, I want to be there for my man.
What made me think about this was because it was a few weeks ago. I think it was something with Shaq. He was talking, and Shaquille O'Neal was talking, and he was saying that, when you got something that you want to say to your woman, don't. When you want to share with your woman a vulnerable moment, don't, because it's oftentimes it is thrown back in your face and is weaponized against you. And I have been in that. I have had women who have encouraged me to talk with my talk and see they could sense something is going on. But the problem is, the moment I tell them what's going on, I'm going to be gaslit. I'm going to be manipulated. And then suddenly I'm going to be fixing you up and making sure that you okay, when initially it was me who had the problem. So to avoid just all that, I would just rather just not talk about it. And what happened is, a lot of us men, we become ticking time bombs.
Bottling up inside.
We become ticking time bombs because we can't talk about our issues and things that affect us, and that's what we ultimately need to. We want to go to our woman.
I think it's human nature. Everyone needs that outlet.
Right.
And whether it's therapy or you would want it to be your spouse, your other, significant other, who can be there for you, and you don't want what's told to you, what you're sharing with someone in a vulnerable state, you don't want it thrown back to you when you guys are good, and in the throes of an argument, and it's thrown back when you told them, in secret or confidence,
right.
You said this, and low blow. Well, I said that to you out of,
right. And I think that's the thing too. I think that when women do get a man that opens up, I think women have to understand that they're being trusted at this moment.
Yes, they are.
They're being trusted to guard this with their heart.
Yes.
And the same way they want men to acknowledge their feelings, I think they must understand that men are also have feelings and that we are human.
Exactly. Because I would love to be the safe place for my man to open up to me and feel that he can come to me and it be okay.
One of the things I talk about on this platform is for our black women is to give black men grace. It's to understand that a lot of us, we didn't come with good role models. We didn't come with good examples. And even as we get older in our old age, we still don't see a lot of them good things. So a lot of times we're just trying to figure it out as we go. And I think that sometimes women feel like men should just know and men should just do. And men should just give more. And it's like, well, where is this more coming from? Where is this happening? And I feel like that becomes often a problem with our black women.
I guess they're learning and growing together and evolving together. And maybe the one solution or, thing they could do is go to counseling together, go through group therapy together. Of you're needing this extra person and this non-biased person who's just there to strictly listen to you. I think it's good if people go in the relationship individually to counseling, where they may need a certain therapist just for you, but also collectively together.
Right.
It might come back, we talk individually, do we come back together, a different session, and it might be healthy family relationships. Yeah.
I also want to talk about, do black men provide black women with a safe space? Because I know a lot of us black men, because we have not or we felt as though we have not had a safe space, we can oftentimes look at any type of resistance as, see, here we go again. And now here we are doing the same thing that we accusing the women of doing to us. I think it's up to us black men to really be able to give our women a safe space where they can express themselves and not feel, for them to not feel attacked. And for them to feel, but I also would just say that, because it is both sides. Like both sides are I feel like both sides are at fault. But I just feel like when the relationship, like there's too many times where I think I seen a video where it was just crazy. A woman drove her car onto a golf course and ran over her husband. Okay. Terrible thing, right? Terrible. But the common sentiments were on the pages were, what did he do to her?
I knew you were going to say that he probably deserved it.
He deserved it. He did it. So there's no grace for one side. Like, that was somebody's son. That was somebody's brother. That was somebody's uncle. That was somebody's friend. And because of her emotions, he's no longer here. And the only thing we could do is victim blame, is to say, what did he do? But with the shoes on the other foot,
on her who did the actual action of killing him, run him over.
It was the shoe was on the other foot. It will be, there's no excuse. And that's why I just feel like
it's a double standard.
It is truly a double standard. It's truly a double standard.
I think it's a shame. I really do, because it's not fair.
As a mother to a black son, right? Because we established that your son is black.
We did. My son is black. Yes.
Do you fare for stuff like that? Like, is that something that come across your mind?
I hadn't thought about stuff like that specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, I really haven't. Simply because he's just turned 19 last week, and he's first year freshman in college. So I'm thinking more so school things. So I haven't been thinking of long term of that. I think of relationships for him. He has have relationships, but I haven't thought of anyone, for example, running him over.
Right. No. We ain't going to speak that or think that.
Right. Nothing like that.
And shout out to Nico. He's a very smart young man. Shout out to Nico, man. So I could definitely see him achieving great things. The way he moves, he's very poised as a young man, very observant as well. So, but as a father, I don't think about, I just think about the kind of man that I want to see my daughter with. And I think am I the kind of man that I want to see my daughter with?
Interesting. Yeah.
At one point I would have said no. Like, I would have been like, hell no. Like, I wouldn't even want to see me with me. Like, I was that bad. Like, what? Like, but now I feel like I feel like I'm better. I'm not necessarily all the way there yet with being a man that my little girl will want to look up to, but I feel like I provide a solid foundation.
Have you asked her, or this is what you just feel inside?
I just feel inside. My little girl is not at the space right now where I think she's honest with me, but she's also really like worried about my feelings and stuff.
Okay.
So she don't give it to me raw.
Okay.
I'm like, no, baby girl, you gotta give it to daddy. Like I want you to be as direct because one of the things we had this thing the other day about manifestation, right? Mm-hmm. And so the other day it was, Christmas is coming up. We only a few days from Christmas. And, as an entrepreneur, your money comes in spurts. There's not every day, you don't have a solid paycheck. So when you get money, you just try to take care of what you got to take care of. So the other day I asked her and I said, and this is a life lesson to even for everyone. So the other day I asked her, I said, baby girl, what is it that you want? Now she pretty much receives all year round. She's the only grand. What she wants, she definitely gets. Okay. So there's not like a great need for everything. It's not like, oh my God, gotcha. This is the one time a year I could get something. Let me get it all. So she was just like, look, I just want some jeans. And I said, okay, well, that's cool. How much do you need? And she was like, oh, no, I don't know. I said, well, how much do you think you need? Just give me a price. She gave me $25. I said, you want to get jeans. You're going to get a jean and like one pants leg. You're going to get one pants leg. That's it.
She didn't know how to bargain shop.
Well, you know what it is? You know what it is, though? She was being humble. And I said, well, why don't you go ahead before you make your decision? Because I wanted her to stop me and to say, well, let me figure out how much is the cost of jeans before she decided to give me a price. That's what I wanted her to say. Okay. The second thing is I wanted her to say what she wanted and being unapologetic about it. I wanted her to say, I want $200. I wanted her to say what she wanted. Because I know even as an adult, we oftentimes get upset. And if I'm speaking for me, even with God, where we see so many undeserving people receiving our blessings, but we got to understand that those undeserving people was not afraid to ask for what they wanted. And the universe obliged by it. And I'm like, baby girl, say what you want. Stop saying what you think you people want to hear, or stop saying stuff to be humble. Say what you want. And that was the lesson that she had to learn from that. Because I said, I'll give you exactly what you want. If you want $25, I'll give it to you. You're going to get it. And you're going to be mad because you're going to realize you should have asked for more. I said, so with that being said, moving forward with life, make this a life lesson. Say what you want. And I promise you'll be a whole lot better off in life. Because that's been my case. My case has definitely been that. I have been too humble at times. Times when I should have been arrogant and said my price and would have said, hey, I'll walk if I don't get it. I negotiated. And that feeling, that lingering feeling sucks.
I think I've learned to be really specific with God, with my prayers, with what I want. Like with everything, relationships, things, material things, everything, and goals in life. Because before it was just like, oh, a blanket, I want to be this. Not realizing, oh, in order to get there, I need these things. Can you also look out and make sure this doesn't happen, or make sure this does happen so that I can get there because I want it, because you don't know what you don't know. And so I've grown wiser and with discernment to pray for specifics. Like I want for, let's say, I don't want just the house. I want the house that's fully, up to date. I want the house that's not just the house just for the sake of having a house, Right. I want a remodel kitchen, remodel bathroom, really specific in what I want, because, why not ask? God isn't afraid of our big prayers, our big things that we want, like telling your daughter, ask for what you want.
No, that's a fact. And I do think that sometimes when we do pray, we pray according to our wallet. So it's like, God, if you could just bless me with a house, man, I'll be good. But you got to understand, you're talking to the God, the creator of all.
Yeah, he can bless you with more and abundantly you ever think or ask for. So it's like, he's not afraid of our big prayers, our things.
Right. He's not intimidated by
the sun and
the
moon and stars. So of course he can give this to you.
Right.
But you need that faith and everything. So I think that was, good to teach your daughter, ask her what she wants.
Right. No, I think, and she really picked it up, because it became real to her at that point. It became like a real tangible, it wasn't like one of them metaphorical daddy just talking, just be talking. It was like, no, right, here we go with this thing.
Excuse me.
But no, it was a real thing. Like, I'll give you exactly what you asked for. And you're going to be so mad and you can only have yourself to blame. And also, I do think that too, that even as being, because we are people of faith, it takes some of the responsibility. it allows us a little bit more responsibility to be accountable, because it's like, well, you didn't come to the throne and ask for it. You didn't make your request known. So who do you blame? And because it's like you have a thing where you're like, well, he going to do his part. You got to do yours. And that's the part about, I think, with the black church, I feel like I don't receive. And that's why I do not like going to church, because it's like it becomes pie in the sky. It becomes all about prosperity and prosperity this and prosperity that. Ask God for that. But there's nothing that's asked of you. There's nothing that is saying like there's nothing like you just said. You want the house that's fully furnished, that's modern, that's big, that's 3 bedrooms, all this stuff. But yet you still had the same crappy spending habits. You still had the same crappy attitude.
That's why you got to work towards it. You got to show God that faith without works is dead. So you have to work to your part.
Right.
You have to do that and show God, okay, I can get this. Let me work on be a good steward of my money.
Right.
Let me work on it. So then how he's going to bless him with this big house? I can't even take care of $10. Like.
So one of the things too is a lot of women, I hear this a lot more with women, okay? When women say they deserve. They deserve. And my humble opinion is like nobody deserves nothing. We all have fell short. We have done some pretty foul. Nobody deserves anything. What's your thoughts on that?
Do I deserve? That's the word we talked about before, entitlement.
Okay.
Like I deserve this. Well, I'm also like, okay, if you feel like you deserve it, you can go out and get it yourself. You deserve to have, this car, then you can go out and work for it.
Right.
And get it for yourself instead of waiting for someone else to give it to you. Because a lot of times, no one's going to hand you anything. Most times. Some people, sometimes, granted, they do. But other times, you're going to have to go out there and work and go get it.
Right.
Like say that's what you want. And you deserve this. Go make it happen. Go out there, follow your dreams, your goals, and whatever ways you got to do it, make it happen.
Right.
Like, you got this because you deserved it because you work hard for it. You got it.
Right.
And sometimes it may be gifted to you, by grace. Like, okay, here's some favor.
Here's some favor. Right. But, no, that makes a lot of sense.
But I'm more so I'm not going to wait for anybody to give me anything. I know what I want and know specifically what I want, so I'm going to go after it. Right.
No, I agree. I definitely feel like right now a lot more responsibility falls on my shoulders. So before, when I'll be honest, when I felt myself being more of a praying man, I think I allowed things to just happen, but now that I'm not, boy, don't kill me in the comments.
What?
But now that I'm more of I don't look to the sky no more type of brother, or I still have a relationship with God, but my relationship with God is different. My relationship with God is things that are completely outside of my control. It's like I don't come to God and be like, God, necessarily help me with money. I just say it's more or less like help me find favor with those who can help me achieve the money. If you put me in a position, I'll get the money, God. But just help me get in that position. So you're
praying to be in a position.
To be in a position. Like, it's more or less like that. Like, I haven't never really prayed for companionship. I never really said, God, send me someone. Because I feel like I could go out and I could find that. So
you want him to help you with things that you can't get on your own.
Yeah, like the big ticket items or the things that's like a little bit beyond my control. Sometimes, or things that I might have been like, man, my intentions were so real and I ain't mean it. But if you could just lay it on their heart to let them know that, or can you just really allow for this circumstance to work out in my favor is looking crazy or something like that. That's kind of more or less what I would pray for versus I'm trusting that you're going to put me in bless me with a home or something like that. If that makes sense. And not just from my relationship. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I was very church hurt for a long time and still kind of somewhat church hurt. I just look at the church a whole lot different. Like I look at it like, I don't even know if it's necessarily hurt. You ever get to a place where it's like, I'm not hurt. I just recognize that that's not where I need to be. And don't gotta be necessarily church, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's kind of like you could look at a man like, I'm not hurt by you, but I just realized that you're not the one for me. I just don't want to be with you. That's kind of that's my space with the church. It's kind of like I seen too much go on. It's like, nah, it's a turn off. Now that's not saying every place is like that or every house of the Lord is like that.
That's just your experience.
But the few that I have, went to, and some of the common themes amongst them it's like, nah, it's just not for me. I don't knock nobody, even my little girl. It's like, her mom is pretty much really, really raising her in the church. And my approach when we have the conversation, because I don't want to necessarily go against her mom in the sense of saying, because her mom is coming from a very sincere place. It's like I'm coming from my sincere place. But I will say, baby girl, you're going to get to a space in time where all this is going to make sense for you. You're going to, she's giving you this right here, but you're going to have to find your way and what makes sense for you, So that's kind of, they're the kind of conversations that I have with her. But yeah, more or less like the big ticket items, that's when I'll go, you know what I'm saying? Now, I have been, there have been more than a few occasions that when that big Powerball come out and I'm like, Lord, if there ever was a time to bless your boy, you know what I'm saying? If there ever was a time, it was ever a time for you to shake down, shake and runneth over a cup or something. This will be the time, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Send me no Powerball numbers, Lord. That will be it. But, overall though, it's just like, if it's in my control, if it's in my path, let me do it. And another reason why, I guess the church has been somewhat of, of a turnoff. It's because the church to me has become so one-sided, like 90% of the church's congregations is women. So they speak to the heart of what women want to hear. And I think that's the reason why they talk so much about prosperity. But for a man, we don't necessarily feel welcome in there. It's like, it's like you mentioned earlier in a prior episode, you mentioned going to counseling, or maybe it might have been this one. But you talk about going to counseling. Have you ever been to like a church counseling session before?
Yeah, I went to premarital counseling, and I also went to counseling with my ex-husband and also by myself as well. So I have been to. Okay.
Did you feel like, was it with the church? Was it with the church?
No, well, pre-marriage counseling was with the pastor who married us, our youth pastor.
But you got married early though.
I did.
How old were you?
I was 22.
22? And how many years did it last?
13 on paper, 9 years in real life.
Would you consider that a success?
No, I'm not married anymore. No, now I feel like the man God has for me has not presented himself to me yet. So, but I would love to get married again. Yeah.
Would you? So you open to it?
Yes, just not open to having any more children. That's done. Okay. We're not doing that. Okay. Again, they're almost 17 and 19.
Right.
I love them. Love my babies. Crazy. My baby is about to be 17. That's it.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely do an encore of marriage. I loved being married. I loved the sense of having a covering, having that person, the head of the household. Right now, I feel like I am. When I say my family, I think of me and my two kids. I'm the head of the household because I'm single. I'm not with anyone. So there's no one covering me. I miss that covering of having.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because a lot of women, they talk as if like it's not, the covering is not a real thing.
It is a very real thing. Like Christ covered the church, and I need my husband to cover me. So I don't have to be just doing everything on my own.
No, I agree.
Help me to my husband.
I agree. I do believe that women need that. Men need to see that you are covered. I mean, because
yes, I need to be covered. I feel sad sometimes thinking because I am not covered. Yeah, I have my parents and my brothers and relatives, but it's not the same.
No, it's a different head.
It's not the same. It's like I still feel like I'm still doing everything by myself. If I don't do it, it won't get done. If I don't pay these bills, it
won't get done.
Yeah, it's there's no one to lean on. It's just me.
Right.
I don't have a covering. So.
Well, now, when you say marriage, do you mean because we had this conversation before? Shout out to Michelle from Canvas. We had this conversation, and I was saying like I want to get married, but I don't want to get married legally.
I know you don't.
Right.
We've had this conversation.
But so would that be a problem? Like if you met a man right now and y'all was, just say y'all got some sweat equity, y'all been together for a little while, you love him, he love you, he's covering you, but he said, hey, listen, you know what? At this age, I can't see myself. No,
I need to be married, and the whole traditional is different.
But that's not how is it traditional? No.
I need that.
I'm talking about he would do that. He would get married in front of the church, right? He will get married, y'all have a ceremony, but he just want to sign any legal documentation.
Nope, it needs to be legal. I don't play that. I'm not, and that's non-negotiable. You need to be my husband on paper, legal, every kind of way, every way.
Yeah.
That's a non-negotiable. I'm not, again, and I'm okay if other men don't agree, because that just means they're not the men for me. I'm not the one for them.
Right,
I'm okay with that
right.
working out. I just know that's what I need.
So can I ask you a question? Do you think that when marriages dissolve, do you think that is beneficial to the man? Like, do you think who do you think benefit the most from being married?